Ja, moin Kinders, Steeblio ist wieder mal am Start mit einer neuen Folge von Trails of Cold Steel. Und wir sind am Ende unseres ersten Tages des Field Trips nach Celdic. Da vorne ist der Name der Stadt. Wir haben unsere Mission alle gemacht. Wir haben eine Schlägerei am Marktplatz verhindert. Nichts mehr, was wir tun können, glaube ich zumindest. Denke ich. Wir können ins Inn gehen und den Tag ausklingen lassen. Genau. Wir gönnen uns Dinner und dann ein nettes Gute-Nacht-Schläfchen. Es ist kältige bei Nacht. Oh, der Markt ist geschlossen. In Weathercock. Das heißt Wetterhahn. Der gönnt sich die 4 schicke Tasse. Ich habe auch hier eine schicke Tasse. Gönn ich mal mit den 4 schicke Tasse.
ああ、さすがに地のものの料理は違うな。
ライ麦を使ったパンもなかなかの美味だった。こんな楽しみがあるなら特別実習も悪くないけど、今頃 B 班のエマたちはどうしてるのかしら。
Ja, bei Gruppe B, da prügeln sich jetzt wahrscheinlich Jusis und Makias gerade, bevor Instructor Sarah da rankommt.
こんな風に一緒にテーブルを囲んではいなさそうだけど。
そうだね。本当、僕たち7組ってなんで集められたんだろうね。
Krieg führen.
どうもアークスの適性だけが理由じゃない気がするんだけど。それだけならば、今日のような実習内容にはならぬだろうしな。どうやら私たちにいろいろな経験をさせようとしてるみたいだけど、どんな真意があるのかまでは現時点ではまだわからないわね。
そうだな。
あんまり深く考えずにやってみたら。どうやら何かを見つけようと少し焦ってるみたいだけど、まずは飛び込んでみないと立ち位置も見出せないわよ。
士官学院を志望した理由が同じというわけでもないだろうし。
士官学院への志望理由、その発想はなかったわね。私の場合は単純だ。目標としている人物に近づくためといったところか。目標としてる人物それが誰かはこの場では控えておこう。
Laura will sich noch nicht öffnen.
アリサの方はどうだ？そうね、いろいろあるんだけど自立したかったからかな。ちょっと実家とうまくいってないのもあるし。
そうなのか。
その意味では僕は少数派なのかな。もともと士官学院とは全然違う進路を希望してたんだよね。あら、そうなの？
確か音楽系の進路だったか？
ほう。まあそこまで本気じゃなかったけど。リーンはどうなの？そういえば今まで聞いたことなかったけど。
俺はそうだな。自分を見つけるためかもしれない。
Er ist auf dem Selbstfindungstrip. Er ist in dieser Phase.
いや、別に大層な話じゃないんだ。あえて言葉にするならそんな感じというか。
いいじゃない、かっこよくて。自分を見つけるか。あなたがそんなロマンチストだったなんてちょっと意外だったわね。
変なことを口
jetzt
走った
hast
な。
du es geschafft. Oh, Laura find's nicht so zum Lachen. So, you want me to wake you up at 6 tomorrow, right? Yes, please. We only have until tomorrow evening, so we need to get an early start. We really appreciate it. Not a problem at all. Have a good night. Good night.
あとは今日一日のレポートがあるのか。このままベッドに倒れ込みたいけど、そういうわけにもいかないわね。
Haha, she seems to have forgotten all about the room situation, and I'm not about to remind her.
Lin.
Sprechensweisamkeit.
どうしたんだ？
迷いもあったが、やはり聞いておこう。そなた、どうして本気を出さない？
はあ？
そなたの剣、そして立ち筋、八葉一刀流に間違いないな。
Da kommt die Schwertfrau.
剣戦、ユン・カーファイが起こした東方剣術の集大成とも言うべき流派。開伝に至った者は断りに通ずる達人として剣聖とも呼ばれるという。
詳しいんだな。帝国ではほとんど知られていない流派のはずなんだけど。
我がアルゼード流は古流ながら他の流派の研究も欠かしておらぬ。それに父に言われていたのだ。そなたが剣の道を志すならば、いずれ八葉の者と出会うだろう。
光の継承が光栄というか恐れ多いというか。俺はただの書伝止まりさ。確かに一時期ユン老師に指示していたこともある。だが剣の道に限界を感じて老師から修行を打ち切られた身だ。だから別に手を抜いてるわけじゃないんだ。八葉の名を汚しているのは重々わかっているけど、これが俺の限界だ。誤解させたのならすまない。ラウラ？
そなた自身の問題だ。私に謝る必要はない。いい稽古相手が見つかったと思ったのだがな。少し外で素振りをしてくる。悪いが先にアリサたちとレポートをまとめていてくれ。
Lässt sich nicht lumpen und schwingt das Schwert noch ein bisschen. Und die haben belauscht.
いろいろあるみたいね。何か抱えているような顔はたまにしていたけど。アリサも気づいてたんだ。なんだかんだ言って。それは謝るチャンスを伺ってて、別に意識してたとかそういうのじゃないんだからね。
Oh, dieser Blick und wie sie Bett zu ihnen gesagt hat. Perfekt. Einfach perfekt.
でも何かを抱えてるのは誰だって同じなんじゃないかな。君だってそうじゃないの？それは確かにそうね。
Ah. Richtige Teenie-Troubles hier. Oh, hey, das Logo. Ah. Wir haben 13 AP bekommen. Cool. Oh, der heilige Sonntag. Field Study Day 2. Here are your tasks for the day. The market manager left them with me. Thank you. Field Study Envelope. Come on in. Field Study Day 2. Assigned tasks. West Celdic Highway Monster und Lost Wallet. A large ferocious monster has been sighted on the West Celdic Highway. We'd all be happier if someone took it out. Monster Zwordar. Location Stone Bridge leading to Heimdall on the West Celdic Highway. Market manager Otto. Lost wallet. Merchant Lizzie. Yesterday I found a wallet on the floor in front of my stall. Would someone be willing to find its owner for me? See me at my ceramics stall and I'll tell you more. Huh, even fewer than yesterday. Maybe he gave us less work to do because he knew we were going back to Trista today. Sounds about right. He's a very considerate man. The last train he headed your way leaves here around 9 tonight. You get those done quickly enough, you can have dinner here before you leave. Haha, thank you very much. We greatly appreciate your kindness. Shall we get started then? Sounds good. Looks like today's tasks are all optional. Hey Laura, wanted to apologize for what I said to you yesterday evening. Oh? Real? As I told you then, this is a matter you must come to terms with on your own. It is not something for which apologies required. That's not really what I mean. I wanted to apologize for making light of the way of the sword. What I said about being a dropout who's never been able to progress past beginner level was disrespectful. To Master Kai-Fi, to the school I follow, and to the path of the sword itself. And for those reasons, I feel it was inappropriate of me to say what I said. So, I'm sorry. If that's the case, then there's one other person you should be apologizing to as well. I can't pretend to know much about your personal circumstances, but regardless of one's background or social standing, one should always be able to live with pride in him or herself. Thus, if you truly did make light of yourself and your own abilities, then that is an act of shame for which you owe yourself recompense. Let me ask you a question, Reen. Do you like the path of the sword? It's not really a matter of liking it or disliking it. I don't think. It's part of my life, an inseparable part of who I am. Oh, this is who I am, Shadow the Hedgehog. Am I right? That's all I wanted to hear. I feel exactly the same way. Laura? So you two are friends again then? Were we not? There was never any rift between us that I knew about. Indeed, this was all handled rather neatly, I felt. You're both so simple-minded. I feel like an idiot spending so much time trying to devise a plan to get the two of you to make up. Whoa, what did you do? What? It would seem we've caused you undue concern. Gee, can't we just all forget about it and move on? Ha. Looks like the ground's dried after the rainfall, so to speak. Glad to see you all looking a bit less gloomy. Margot, we've got trouble, big trouble. Slow down, Louise. It's first thing in the morning, and you're about poised to wake the dead. You're making such a commotion. Where have you been anyway? You're late. I'm sorry, I just got caught up on the way here. But never mind that. We have big trouble. Something terrible happened over at the market. Something terrible, you say? What terrible thing has happened exactly? Well, it sounds like it actually took place last night. 2 of the stalls over at the market were destroyed and all the merchandise was stolen. Oh, ich kann mir denken, welche das waren. That is most terrible indeed. A robbery? Oh my, I suppose that means the market might be opening late today, which means we could end up with more customers as people wait to hear for a resolution. Louise, let's get this place ready. You got it! Ren, Louise, ren! As for you 4, this is our problem, not yours. You just focus on your field study and leave this incident to us locals. You have your own tasks to worry about after all. Of course. We'll be back later. Thanks again. Okie dokie. What should we do? I have to admit I'm curious. It's not far, so we might as well just go take a look. Alright, let's take a slight detour and see what's happening at the market. Then... Gut. Tasks, wo seid ihr nochmal? Nicht kochen. Nee, das ist Quest. So, hier. Die waren optional, meinte er hier. Na gut, die haben hier nicht so ein Ja, die haben keinen Require-Stempel. Client Market Manager Otto und Merchant Lizzie. Weil am West Highway war ja noch dieser eine komische Park, den wollte ich eigentlich mal besuchen gehen. Kann ich dir eigentlich was spenden hier? How sorrowful one's peaceful hearts have now turned wild. Worry not though, for I shall find their lost fragments of love. Feel free to fall for me, for it is only natural. Okidoki. Na komm, wir gehen hin. I'm sorry, the Grand Market isn't quite open for business yet. Oh, it's the students from yesterday. Good morning. Opening late today after all I see. Afraid so, guess you already know about the robbery yesterday, huh? The two merchants whose stalls were destroyed are still arguing about it. You bastard! You're not going to get away with this! Oh no, not them. The manager came to try and break them up, but he doesn't seem to be having much luck. I hope no one ends up getting hurt. What should we do, Reen? Prügel die Scheiße aus denen raus, ganz einfach. Maybe we could try talking to them? Considering everything that happened yesterday, you just might be the chivalry we need right now. Would you mind? Not at all. It's a goal. Klären das mit der Faust. How dare you destroy my stall, you damn coward! I knew you country folk weren't to be trusted. Who else could it have been? Just come clean and admit it already. Who are you calling a coward, you Heimdallrian snub? You're the one who wanted my spot all for yourself. Calm down, gentlemen, please. Playing all innocent and trying to paint me as the bad guy here, you make me sick. What do you say we settle this right here and now? Bring it on, bitch. Hold it. Das Bitch musste sein. Class 7. You kids again. Keep your nosies out of this. I'm gonna make him pay for smashing my stall. Smashing? Oh, damn, der Stall ist gesmashed. Der hat auch gesmashed. Well, they really are completely ruined. This is awful. However, harming one another is not going to bring them back. In the end, they will still be smashed, and you will be worse off. But this anger isn't gonna go away unless I do something. He took all my goods too, so I haven't even got anything to sell. What are you talking about? You were the one who stole my goods. You're gonna give them all back right now and fix the damage you did to my stall, or else I can't be held responsible for my actions. This isn't good. I don't think they're even listening to a word we're saying. What do we do? Stop this at once! Oh shit. The provincial army. Nanny? Mon ami, my friends. Messieurs, was geht sie los? What is the meaning of this? It's the middle of the morning. Stop this nonsense immediately. But I believe you are the one in charge here. I demand an explanation as to what has transpired. Well, you see, the market manager explained to the provincial army officer what had happened the previous night. The solution is simple then. Men take them away. Yes, sir. What? What do you mean take us away? Two stalls were destroyed, 2 sets of goods were stolen, the truth is clear as a day. Two merchants in the midst of a heated disagreement committed the same crime at the same time. But that's not fair. Do you not think it's premature to draw such a conclusion without an investigation? The provincial army doesn't have time to waste solving the petty squabbles of merchants. But I'm not an unreasonable man. Cease your dispute and you will be left alone. Continue and you come with us. Your choice is yours. They're trying to force both merchants to forget this ever happened, to sweep the whole ordeal under the rug. Yeah, something about this seems really wrong. Oh, very good then. I'm sure you agree with wasting time on shenanigans like this is detrimental to all parties involved. I hope you think twice before causing such a ruckus ever again. Now, if you please excuse me, I'm a busy man and I have more pressing matters to attend to. No man, come, we go have a little spanking. Ich weiß auch nicht, wer das kam. There they go. Well, I guess they did stop those two from fighting, but they did nothing to solve the underlying problem. This isn't right. I see how the provincial army here conducts itself. I'm sure you're both still pretty angry about this, but right now the two of you need to focus on keeping cool-headed. If you have the time to fight, try to use the time for something more productive instead. You'll feel a lot better. Yeah, I shouldn't have let my anger take control of me like that. Can't open the Grand Market for business until we've cleaned up these bastard stalls. But we're already running late, so I had to ask, but would you all mind lending me a hand? Market Manager Otto, with assistance from the merchants of the market, cleared away the remains of the two stalls. With the help of Reen and the others on top of that, the Grand Market was finally able to open for the day, albeit behind schedule. So. Thanks to you for... Ich hoffe jetzt nicht, dass der Tag zu Ende ist. Thanks to you for, we are able to open the Grand Market for business today, a bit quicker than I expected. I can't even begin to tell you how grateful I am. Oh, there's no need for that, we barely did anything. Just glad no one got hurt. All the more reason to thank you. The merchant's stall is his livelihood. Any action taken against it can throw him into blind rage, and it's hard to bring someone back from that. It would seem to the problems facing the merchants in this town are quite great indeed. The provincial army may have intervened, but it's difficult to believe they'd make no attempts to find an amicable solution. Quite right, it's clearer than ever now that they have no intention of trying to resolve any issues involving the market. Can't see that changing unless we decide to just accept the sales tax increase and keep quiet about it. Still, you'd think that at least be a little more subtle about the whole thing. There's no way those two merchants are just going to accept this and move on. No, I don't suppose they will, and if words get out about this, it's not inconceivable for certain groups of people to begin boycotting the marketplace. Something definitely has to be done. I'm just not sure what. Something wrong, Reen? You're awfully quiet. Are you feeling unwell? Sir, I have a favor to ask. Would you consider allowing us to investigate this morning's incident? What? Are we suggesting that we attempted to find the perpetrator who destroyed the merchant's stalls ourselves? It's a kind offer, but as I said yesterday, this is our affair, not yours. You're students, you have your own studies to worry about. It wouldn't feel right interfering with them. We're students training for the military, though. We can't just stand by and allow something so unjust to go unchallenged. It's the provincial army's responsibility to address this, sure, but they're shirking their duties here, and that reflects poorly on us all. Well, that's true enough, I guess. But do you really think we're up for something like this? Kind of have to wonder about that too. I mean, at the end of the day, we're just amateurs. We should at least check with Instructor Sarah first and see what she thinks. He's already told us. Put your heads together and think, and I'm sure you'll see what you need to do. Her words. This seems like exactly the sort of thing she meant, at least it does to me. Oh. I see your point. Perhaps matters such as this may fall under the scope of our field study after all. Yeah, you do make a good case. Still not sure we're up to it, but I guess it can't hurt to try. Neither seek nor shun the fight. Very well, we shall do what we can. Am I really sure about this? Certainly not going to say no. I'm very concerned about the market and its safety of our merchants. So if you're 100% sure, I have to admit I truly would appreciate anything you can do for us. Thank you, sir. We'll do everything in our power to find answers for you. Be careful, don't go seeking out trouble. I don't want you kids being put in danger. Dealing with a criminal who acts under cover of night, he may be capable of a lot more than just thieving and vandalism. Remember, I am responsible for your safety. If anything were to happen to you, I couldn't even look Vendic in the eye anymore. Well, be careful, we promise. I know, I will at least. I probably need to be more careful than anyone else here. You said that's settled. We should act quickly. Yeah, let's get this investigation started. Dann haben wir jetzt wohl doch eine Pflicht. Mission. So, first things first, we need to decide where to start investigating. The logical starting point would be the Grand Market itself, the scene of the crime. Can't argue with that, we should probably get statements from those two merchants before anything else. Indeed, I anticipate they've calmed themselves by now, so perhaps we can get something a bit more substantial from them. We still have to ascertain their innocence or guilt in the matter as well. We need to keep a close eye on the time though. If we miss the last train toward Heimdall, we have no way of getting back to the academy today. But we've been given other tasks too, and I really like to get them done. In short, we need to keep moving. Our deadline is 9 PM. That is every minute. We have to accomplish everything we possibly can. Understood. You bet. Right. Wirklich nicht. Ich sehe keine Uhr, also habe ich also alle Zeit der Welt. Wo war nochmal Karte? Ach, ich habe ja keine Karte, ne? Ach, doch, warte. Ah, ich habe eine Karte. So, Story-Event. Dingensbums. Quest-Event. Scheint die nicht zu sein. Denn ich will trotzdem erst die hier machen. Lost Wallet und nehmen wir erstmal das, weil dann kann ich dann auch in diesen einen Park da gehen. Also gut, dann bevor wir uns an die Hauptquest machen, gehen wir doch den Nebenquests nach. Ja, und sie sind immer noch am Saufen. Ich kann kein Geld geben. Okay, dann denke ich, müssen wir erst fragen. Ich hoffe, ich habe mir jetzt nicht die Sidequests verspielt. Den will ich nicht zuerst reden. Ich will mit dem anderen zuerst reden. Ich bin parteiisch. Verkauft Klamotten. Das kann ich hier kaufen. I believe is going to be good. Oh, ich kann mir ja nicht kaufen. Ja, du mal Freund. What the hell am I supposed to do now? Excuse me, I'm sorry to bother you, but could we have a moment of your time? You're those kids from the military academy, right? What do you want from me? I've got nothing to sell you, obviously. Even if I did have something to sell, I've got no place to sell it. I'm basically ruined. And to top it all off, the provincial army and that other damned merchant are acting like I'm the one who did it. He's not taking this very well, is he? Hard to blame him, but we need to see if he knows anything that might help us. Well, you'll see. Reen explains that he and his classmates were investigating the truth behind what had happened the previous night. You're investigating this mess, huh? Okay. So would you consider cooperating with us? Sure, why not? I'm not getting my hopes up, as I'm sure you can understand, but hell, I've got nothing left to lose. Not exactly a vote of confidence. He's willing to cooperate. I say we cut him some slack and leave him out. So about last night, at the time the incident actually happened. Last night, huh? Don't know how much help I can be if that's what you're asking about here. So I left the market right after arguing with the merchant yesterday, and I didn't come back till this morning. Stayed over at a friend's place. Another merchant just got pissed drunk and ranted at him all night. And you're certain of this? Positive. Ask my friend if you don't believe me. He backed me up. I wandered over here with an awful hangover this morning, and what I found gave me a hell of a start. My whole stall in shambles. And as if that weren't bad enough, all the processed foods I was going to sell were just gone, without a trace. So the goods that were stolen were all processed foods. That's right, nuts, cheese, bacon, all foods that have a long shelf life, made with local ingredients. Seeing all my stuff gone really sobered me up. It was like I hadn't been drinking at all. And that's when I went over to that food stall to make him pay for it. Why did you go straight to him? Because he was the one who did it, of course. He smashed my stall so he could have that spot all to himself. But that doesn't make any sense. If Heinz did it, then why was his stall destroyed too? He must have done that to himself. Probably figured if he destroyed his own stall, no one would believe he could be responsible. I don't know, that seems pretty unlikely. It's a bit excessive. While I understand your frustration, baseless accusations do no one any favors, and only cloud the true issue. But it's so frustrating. I've lost so much money because of this. I might have to shut up for good. That is bad. If I could at least get my goods back, maybe I could salvage enough to stay afloat. But what are the odds of that? None of the other merchants saw anybody doing anything, and the provincial army sure ain't about to help. I'm finished. Pure and simple. All the hard work I've put into getting this far, and this is how my dream ends for me. Well, I'll be honest. Not sure how much we'll actually be able to do for you. We'll do everything in our power to help you find some form of closure. So cheer up, okay? I do appreciate that, but again, I ain't about to get my hopes up. Good luck, though. I think that everything this merchant knows. Let's try questioning the other one. Okay, jetzt rede ich mit dir. Heinz. And to think I was as ecstatic to finally participate in the famous Celtic Grand Market. What did I ever do to deserve this? Excuse me? You. I'm sorry. Sorry you had to see me acting like that. I hope you can forgive me for my inappropriate behavior. You seem really down. It's quite understandable. He's a merchant in a busy market, unable to do business. So, what brings you here? Did you need something from me? Well, actually, Ryan explained that he and his classmates were investigating the truth behind what had happened the previous night. You're investigating? That's right, and we'd really appreciate it if you could answer a few questions for us. You may be able to help us find the true culprit. I suppose it can't hurt. It's better than doing nothing at least. You don't have to sound so pessimistic. Well, can you blame me? You're students at the military academy. You're not exactly ace detectives. That is true, but we're still determined to find out who did this. We might even be able to recover your goods. Cooperating with us could prove quite fruitful. Okay, fine, I've never said I wouldn't help you, did I? And sure, what I'm supposed to say, though, it's not like I saw anything worth mentioning. You didn't? As soon as I made sure my stall was ready to open the next morning, I left everything set up and went home. Other merchants around here can vouch for it. Guess I shouldn't have left the stall unattended, though. By the time I got it, it was too late. The deed had been done. So by morning, the stall had already been destroyed and your goods stolen. Come to think of it, what goods were you stolen exactly? Oh, I have a sample with me actually. An accessory? Is this a brand that's popular in the capital? Been a real hit lately, yeah. I was hoping to bring the fat here by selling them at the market. But this is the only one I have left now. I dread to think just how much money I lost in one single night. Damned cowards sabotaging my business. It's much too early to be jumping to conclusions. Do you have any evidence that proves his culpability? No, but he's clearly the prime suspect. He was so against the idea of taking turns sharing the spot with me, he decided he'd destroy my stall altogether. I just know it. Going to get him to give me my goods back, no matter what he takes. Please, try to stay calm. You do know that if you cause any more trouble, the provincial army really will arrest you, right? Fine, I know, but it's a matter of justice. I can't just act like nothing ever happened. It's wrong on general principle. I'm begging you, please get my goods back, whatever it takes. Well, I can't promise success, but I swear to you, we'll do everything we can. That much I can't promise. That's all the two victims of this crime have to say, it seems. What does everybody think? I can't be sure, but I really don't think either of them is responsible. Both merchants certainly have adequate motive to damage the other's stall, but the chance of both committing the same crime on the same night without crossing paths is virtually nil. It's not impossible that they were just out to steal each other's merchandise, but I don't believe that's what happened. Both of them have alibis confirming that they were somewhere else when the crime took place. I'm inclined to agree. I just can't see either of these merchants being responsible for what happened, so we're going to have to look elsewhere to find viable suspects. Where though? I mean, who could possibly have been? Well, he said aufgegeben. It's impossible to say right now. We don't have any solid leads. We know how the culprit wasn't, but how are we supposed to start narrowing down who it was? The market itself seems unlikely to produce any further clues, so we should focus our attention elsewhere. Actually, there's one thing that's been bugging me. There's one group of people involved in this whole situation whose actions don't seem to make any sense. Maybe if we can work out the reasoning behind their strange behavior, we can come one step closer to finding our culprit. Whom do you mean? Talking about the manager and his wife, the merchants in the market, the provincial army. Oh nein, jetzt muss ich was. Provincial army. They haven't done a thing to try to solve this crime despite it happening right under their noses. That begs the question, why not? The market manager says they're refusing to fulfill the role due to the tax issues, which means the provincial army should refuse to intervene in quarrels within the market as well. If that's the case, then why did they come and intervene this morning? Now that you mention it, that really doesn't make any sense. The methods were atrocious, but the fact is, they brought that dispute to an end almost instantly. I did get involved. Yeah, one minute they're refusing to do anything, then the next they're taking a stand? Definitely suspicious. My point is exactly, there's definitely something unnatural about the way they're conducting themselves. Since we have no other leads, what do you say we go to the army's guardhouse and take a look around? Might be able to learn something from them that could aid us in our investigation. That may be worth an attempt. Guardhouse isn't too far from here either. Let's head on over and see what we can find out. P increased by 1. Okay, aber darf ich auch jetzt rausgehen für die anderen Quests? Immer noch nicht. Hallo, ich will hier rein. Aren't you those students from the military academy, was it? What are you doing here? We're terribly sorry to trouble you, but we were hoping you might be able to help us with something. Could we ask you a few questions about the incident that occurred at the Grand Market this morning? What? What does it have to do with you? We are visiting this town on a field study as students of Thor's Military Academy, and we would very much appreciate the chance to see how experienced soldiers such as yourself handle difficult everyday situations. This seems a perfect opportunity for an anecdotal case study, and could prove most invaluable to our education, if you'd permit it. Alright, stay here, I see what I can do. It looks like we might be able to hear what they have to say for themselves after all. Nicely done, Laura. In times like these, we need to make a good use of our positions. No one can fault the student for wanting to learn, after all. But now comes the hard part. This makes me nervous. Well, let's just wait and see what we can get out of them. Remember, it's not always what they say that matters, but how they say it, and even more importantly, what they don't say. Right. Der Mustachio-Mann ist da. You appreciate those taking time for busy schedules for this. So what do you want? Make it quick. I'm a busy man, you know. not even trying to keep up appearance. Unbelievable. I'll be brief then. We came to discuss the incident at the market this morning. Would we be correct in assuming that the provincial army will be conducting no further investigation? Is that how you come here to ask? Is that all? Should the armed forces charged with maintaining peace in this region not be taking this matter more seriously? Alright, I'm not so sure. Oh, you got a big mouth for someone your age. You have a lot to learn about how military units actually work. What do you mean? Let me ask you this, what should the number one priority of the provincial army be in order to maintain the status quo? I tell you, the number one priority should be to enforce the will of their region's ruling lord, Duke Alberia. As members of the provincial army, the will of the nobility is absolute. You're just following orders, protecting what you have the duty to protect. Seem you're referring to the local petition against the sales tax increase. So you're saying as long as the petition isn't withdrawn, the Grand Market isn't something you have a duty to protect? Interpret my words however you want. Your soldiers will follow our orders. That's how the military works. And we don't need some fresh military academy inductees telling us how to do our jobs. This is nuts. Does he even have a tiny shred of shame? I was hoping we'd be able to get something out of him, but it shouldn't seem too likely anymore. So that's it, huh? I hope this has been enlightening. Now, if you'll excuse me, I have a job to do. Wait, would you mind answering just one more question? Elliot? No, fine, ask it. Well, do you have any idea what might have happened to the goods Marco was handling? You know, the accessory merchant, all he had left was that one sample. Oh, what are you talking about? The merchant from the capital, Heinz, was the one who was planning on selling accessories. But what did you just say? Why are you looking at me like that for? How do you know that? Oh, Elliot hat ihn ausgetrickst. Elliot, you schlauer boy. I was under the impression you hadn't investigated the matter at all. How peculiar. We only discovered what each of the merchants was intending to sell a short while ago ourselves. So? You have a long ways of finding these things out. You do well not to underestimate us. Now we've wasted enough time answering your questions. We are leaving. Elliot hat ihn verarscht. Do you think the fact that they know what each of the merchants was selling means they did investigate the matter at all? After all, the burglary happened last night. It was only first discovered this morning. Realistically, I don't think there was any opportunity during that time for them to do any digging, not without running into us. Great, I suspect they knew what each merchant was planning to sell well in advance of yesterday's incident. Though that would be easy information for them to learn, since Duke Alberia must have issued permits for both stalls. That's true, and the army would have no trouble gaining access to transaction records for something like that. But why would they bother? Maybe they needed to know so they could prepare. Prepare for what? It's the impression that the incident at the market has been carefully planned out for a while now. I don't think those two merchants being given permits for the same spot was a coincidence either. It was probably done to get them to stop fighting so they could get robbed while there was tensions between them, basically to create a situation that couldn't be brought under control without the army's help. So the two merchants were being used all along. It seems to fit perfectly with what happened this morning. Meanwhile, the provincial army has shown no interest in actively working toward a solution, unless the market manager chooses to withdraw his petition. So they waited for things to get out of hand, then showed up to force both parties into an uncomfortable truce. Eventually, the merchants would get worn down enough that they'd feel like they have no choice but to withdraw the petition. This is turning out to be an even shadier situation than... This is turning out to be even shadier situation than I thought. Yeah, but thanks to Elliot, I do believe he finally uncovered the truth of the matter. That was indeed some very quick thinking you displayed, Elliot. You'd make a fine military strategist. Ha 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 ha, I just got lucky, that's all. So, what we know is the provincial army is somehow involved with the actual preparators of this crime. The only way to solve it, once and for all, though, seems to be, well, to finding them and catch them. But if this was carried out by members of the provincial army, that's not going to be an easy task. No, I don't think anyone from the army was directly involved. These soldiers here are far too proud to dirty their hands with such scabbades. I tend to agree, really. Whoever the culprits are, I doubt they're still here in Celdic. There just aren't many viable places to hide such a huge volume of goods without them being found. Yeah, that's a good point. Maybe they escaped by train? No, that can't be. Boarding a train with that much merchandise would raise suspicion for sure. It's been less than a day since the burglary happened, so they can't have gotten far. You should ask around on the main roads and see if anyone saw anything out of the ordinary. Someone suspicious may have been spotted leaving or even entering the town. That sounds like a wise course of action. Come, let's assume our research. We mustn't let this cowardly thief run free. Wouldn't dream of it. Gut. Dann haben wir... Da ist Storyman. Ja gut. Dann haben wir jetzt hier Stundenpunkt, wo wir die Folge vorne beenden können. Kias, ich bedanke mich fürs Zusehen. Macht's gut. War schade, ich werde genießen, haut rein. Macht's gut. Bis dann. Und bis zum nächsten Mal. Yeah.